Well, I needed an excuse to make my pineapple butter rum topping or cake filling. The same recipe that I used when I made my pina colada cheesecake bars not that long ago. It is such an easy and delicious recipe to make. And you just have to be careful that you don't eat the whole bowl before your cake is done baking. So it's literally just taking a can of crushed pineapple, draining the juice from the can, and then thickening up that juice to like a custardy consistency with some melted vegan butter in there. Now I did use my spiced rum extract, which is completely optional. So there's not really rum in it, but it does give sort of like a hint of rum to the taste of this. And it is just so good. I used it for my pina colada cheesecake bars, and I needed an excuse to make it again, and so the pineapple crush cake was born. Now I've already gone ahead and baked my bakery style yellow cake recipe, and obviously I've made the pineapple filling ahead of time. I do have my buttercream made, so we are really gonna roll right into this and just build this cake in a flash. I've been kind of getting back into some old school cake decorating too lately. So for the decoration of this cake, we're going to make a real cute daisy chain buttercream decoration. I did just bake these layers, so they're super soft, and I don't usually build cakes when my cakes are so soft like this, but I am a risk taker, so let's see how this is gonna go. I didn't feel like I had to really show you guys how to mix the yellow cake for this particular video because I've just done it so many times. And if you did decide that you wanted to make this cake, you're gonna go ahead and have to do all the recipes separately anyway. And so I do have video tutorials for all my recipes on my website at GretchensVeganBakery.com. So yeah, it's a super easy one bowl mix for this yellow cake. This is my bakery style yellow cake that I love so much. It's so easy to make and it's really delicious. I am using my American style buttercream recipe for this cake this time, and I haven't been using the shortening edition in any of my cakes for a really long time, but today I decided to add the shortening to it because I am doing this daisy decoration. So, but I have like 6 different recipes for you guys to choose from for buttercream on my website, and just pick the one that you like the best. And I do write all about shortening in the buttercream recipes and why we use it and how you can skip using it if you don't want to. And like I said, I've been skipping it lately because I just don't want to use it. But for this cake I did, and let me tell you something. It is super stable, and that is really why we use shortening in buttercream. So, use it or don't. Do the daisy decoration or don't. But what I do want to do is get this cake into the refrigerator so that I can get to icing it. And really, that's how simple it is. I mean, literally, this just took me 5 minutes to build this cake. Well, halfway build this cake. But I do have to make another recipe of buttercream because I realized that I do need more than what I made. So let's get this in the fridge to set up. I'm going to make up a quick extra recipe of buttercream, and we're almost done. So my buttercream recipe is not this yellow. I did add a little touch of food color to it so that my base icing has a little bit of a yellow hint to it, so that when I pipe the white daisies on top, there's a bit of a contrast. And I want to see if I can get away with not doing a crumb coat on this cake today, but I'm not so sure that's gonna happen. So let's see how I can ice this cake. I'm already having sort of a bulgy blowout here of that bottom cake layer, and that's because I didn't freeze these cake layers before I started. Normally I do. I literally just baked this cake not even an hour ago and popped it in the fridge. And so these layers are not as cold as I like working with them, which could prove to be a bit of a disaster. So I can see right away that I'm gonna have to crumb coat this cake, get it into the fridge for at least an hour so that the whole thing can firm up, including the inside cake and the filling. Like, I'm totally rushing this. So we're gonna have to take a little bit of a break, but that's the magic of television. You guys don't have to wait at all. I am gonna show you a little pro trick though. I do not like the idea that my bulging breaking piece of cake is the bottom layer, because that's going to take the entire weight of this cake, and I do not like that idea. So I'm going to flip this cake over and make that bottom layer become the top so it doesn't have to bear any weight at all. See that? Now it's on the top, and there'll be nothing pressing down causing this cake to break any more than it already has. So I'm going to kind of stick more buttercream in there to glue that thing back together, and no one will ever know. All right, let's get this to the fridge so that the whole entire thing could firm up and be a little bit more stable, and then we're gonna ice the whole thing. I tell you what, I haven't used shortening in my buttercream in a very long time, and man, what a difference. This is some stable, stiff buttercream right here. Little pro trick to smooth out any icing that looks a little bit bubbly from air bubbles. It's just not really that smooth. If you have a blowtorch, go ahead and fire it up. I mean, it doesn't have to be a blowtorch. The idea of it is that you're getting your spatula a little bit warm, so you could run it under some hot water and then just wipe off the excess, but blowtorch is a little bit faster. Okay, so I had to come back on here because this cake is absolute perfection, let me tell you. I know right off the bat, a lot of people think buttercream cakes, ugh, no thank you, it's just too sweet. But let me tell you something, this pineapple butter rum filling, like, I didn't add any sugar to it. It's such a perfectly balanced cake. It's so light and refreshing. Like, I really hope that you guys are gonna go ahead and try this recipe. Go grab the recipes, make this cake, Pineapple Crush.